Average domestic fuel prices continued to decline Sunday, the third day since fuel price caps took effect, following last week's surge triggered by the outbreak of war between the United States and Iran.
미국과 이란 간의 전쟁 발발 이후 지난주 기름값이 급등함에 따라 정부가 석유 최고 가격제를 시행한 지 사흘째인 어제까지 국내 휘발유 전국 평균 가격이 지속적인 하락세를 보였습니다.
Yes. Obviously, everyone is very sensitive to oil prices and gas these days because of the geopolitical situation in the Middle East. But according to gas prices here, the government has stepped in, right, with this price cap system. The average price of gas actually fell on Sunday by about 3 won nationwide, and it's still over 1,800 won per liter. Same with diesel prices as well. Seoul is the most expensive in the country at about 1,865 won per liter. But this price cap system is something that the government initiated where the first time, actually, since 1997. And what it does is the government calculates by using the average weekly supply price of regular gasoline, and they adjust it by this one benchmark rate down in Singapore, and they add taxes, and that's sort of the maximum price cap.
Exactly. 자, 우리가 지금 얘기하고 있는 석유 최고 가격제, 영어로는 price cap system이라고 하는데요. 지난주부터 도입이 됐고 이게 이제 너무나 기름값이 많이 오를까 봐 정부에서 가격 상한제를 도입한 거죠. 이거 이제 헤드라인 속에서는 price caps라고만 했어요. 이렇게 줄일 수 있는 거죠?
Sure.
price cap system인데.
Right. The name of the system is the price cap system,
Yeah.
but what you're doing is you're capping it. So these are price caps. Right?
그렇죠. 그래서 price caps에서 그 caps가 상한을 얘기하고 있습니다. The maximum price that sellers are legally allowed to sell their products, or in this case, oil. So the opposite, I guess, could be a price floor.
Floor, yes.
The minimum price. 뭐 그런 시스템은 지금 없지만 the price cap system에서 헤드라인 속에서는 the price caps took effect last week and now the prices are actually dropping. Let's have a look at why this system was adopted, and that's because it was triggered by the war between the US and Iran.
Right. So think of a gun trigger, right? That means it's caused by, or something is set off by something. So something caused this. It's like pulling the trigger of a gun.
Yeah.
And it suggests that something happens as a direct sort of reaction to something, right? So because of what's happening in the Middle East, it's causing gas prices to go up.
Exactly. So smells sometimes can trigger memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you go into a coffee shop or something, or just somewhere, anywhere.
Right.
And then you smell something, you go, oh, I remember in 1985, blah, 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 blah. You know, so yeah, it triggers something. It causes something to happen.
Right. Like a protest could be triggered by some sort of gripe, possibly with the government or whatever else.
네. 자, trigger라는 것 자체는요, 권총에 있는 방아쇠라는 뜻이에요. 그래서 방아쇠를 당기면은 그 다음에 이제, 뭐 어떤 효과가 나오죠. 총 같은 경우에는 발사가 되고 그런 것처럼 trigger라는 것은 무언가를 일으킨다, 촉발한다, 불러일으킨다 이런 의미로 많이 쓰는 거죠. 지금 얘기한 것처럼 이러이러한 이유 때문에 시위가 벌어졌다. 아니면은 어떤 냄새를 맡으면은 기억을 떠올리게 한다. 이럴 때도 다 trigger를 쓸 수 있는 겁니다. 자, 다시 한번 제가 읽어볼게요. Average domestic fuel prices continue to decline Sunday. The third day since fuel price caps took effect following last week's surge triggered by the outbreak of war between the US and Iran. Let's move on.
Koreans in their 40s experience the highest levels of stress in daily life among adults, marking a shift away from younger generations as economic pressures and workplace competition weigh more heavily on middle-aged Koreans, according to the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency.
질병관리청의 국민건강 통계에 따르면 국내 성인들 중 일상에서 스트레스를 많이 느낀다는 비율이 40대에서 가장 높은 것으로 나타났습니다. 이는 2030 세대가 가장 높게 나온 종전과는 다른 결과로 직장 생활과 경제 문제로 느끼는 압박감이 중년 세대에서 더 크기 때문으로 풀이됩니다.
Yes. So this data comes from a survey conducted back in 2024 on 10,000 people. And the overall stress level, about a quarter of all people surveyed said they feel either much stress or very much stress in daily life. Overall, we're talking about. But people in their 40s experience stress the most. About 35% of those in their 40s, followed by those in their 30s,
Right.
and then their 20s. Now, this was sort of flipped around back in 2014, where 10 years ago or 10 years prior, it was people in their 30s that felt the most stress. So what this sort of leads me to believe is that this age group, this demographic,
I was thinking the same
they've
thing.
just been stressed for the past 20 years, or past 10 years, I should say.
Exactly.
Right?
Because the latest data is from 2024.
Uh-huh.
And the one before that is from 2014.
Yes.
So 10 years ago, it was people in their 30s that were the most stressed. And
Yes.
now it's people in their 40s that are the most stressed. But these are the same people.
Exactly. We didn't go anywhere, right?
So maybe
Yeah.
it's just it's just us
Yes.
that get stressed a lot. I don't know.
Possibly, you know.
But there is some logic to that because I think we feel responsible. We want to do things right with sort of that mixed generation where we do care about things and we want to, I don't know, we're sort of not too old-fashioned, but we're not completely millennials, Gen Z either.
We say we because we are in our 40s.
We are in the same age group.
And just to go off on a tangent just a little
Yeah.
bit, I saw recently this generation that we are in are called Xennials.
Yes.
Which
or
are
just Zennials. They would say.
Zennials,
Yeah.
right? So between Gen X and also millennials, because Sue, you and I, we both remember before the internet, but we also remember post-internet. So
Yeah,
we're kind of stuck in the middle. So maybe that's why the stress is
Could be. 그렇습니다. 이제 질병관리청의 국민건강 통계 그 결과가 발표가 된 건데요. 2024년에 19세 이상 성인 5,800명 정도를 상대로 조사를 했어요. 그랬더니 40대가 가장 스트레스를 많이 받는 걸로 드러났습니다. 2024년 기준. 그런데 10년 전 2014년에는 30대들이 가장 스트레스를 많이 받는다라는 결과가 나왔었거든요. 근데 지금 우리가 한 얘기가 뭐냐면 2024년에 40대인 사람들이 바로 그 2014년에 30대였던 사람들이니까
Yes.
혹시 이게 그냥 이 에이지 그룹 사람들이 스트레스를 많이 받는 거 아니냐. 뭐 이건 우리들만의 해석입니다만.
Sure.
네. 어쨌든 사회적인 요인 특히 이제 그 가정을 이루고 아이들을 키우고 뭐 여러 가지 직장 스트레스 뭐 등등등 때문에 스트레스를 많이 받는 것으로 이렇게 풀이가 됩니다.
Yeah, and no surprise that the workplace was the main source
Yes.
of stress. And among women in their 40s, parents or children actually topped the stress factor.
그래요. 근데 저희가 또 이렇게 좀 가볍게 말할 수 있는 이유는 저희가 바로 그 40대거든요. 그래서 저희 얘기입니다. 10년 전에 스트레스 받았고 지금도 스트레스 받고 있고
Yes.
맞나요? 모르겠습니다.
Let's survey in 10 more years and see what happens.
10년 후에 한번 보겠습니다. 그때 50대일지 아닐지. 자, 다시 저 표현 볼게요. A shift away from something.
Yeah, when you shift away from something, that means there's some sort of change or movement in a different direction than previously said, right? Or believed.
Exactly. 무엇에서 다른 방향으로 전환하는 거. A shift away from something. 자, 그다음에 weigh on something. Weigh more heavily on something.
Yeah, when something weighs more heavily on something, there's a stronger sort of influence or burden, I
yeah,
would say,
yeah.
or impact on someone or something. Yeah.
weighing, 무게를 다는 건데 weighing on you, weighing on me 그러면 이 어깨 위에 무게가 다 올라온 느낌이에요. 그러니까 부담스러워요. weigh on someone이라는 것은 뭐 때문에 내가 마음이 많이 쓰여, 부담스러워 이런 뜻이에요. 그래서 that decision has been weighing on me all week. 그때 그 결정 때문에 내가 이번 주 내내 신경이 쓰여.
Right. And when you relieve that, you also say to the opposite that it feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, right?
그러네요. 그래서 weigh more heavily on이 여기서는 크게 영향을 미친다라는 뜻으로 볼 수 있을 텐데 이제 보통은 그런 부담감이라고 보시면 됩니다.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's economic or financial or emotional sort of stress, right?
It can be a worry, a concern. Yeah, I would say it's almost always negative.
Yeah.
자, 그럼 다시 읽어볼게요. Koreans in their 40s experience the highest levels of stress in daily life among adults, marking a shift away from younger generations as economic pressures and workplace competition weigh more heavily on middle-aged Koreans, according to the Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency.
Parts of southern Europe and the United Kingdom have experienced a phenomenon known as blood rain, in which Saharan dust carried north by high altitude winds mixes with rainfall to create reddish or orange deposits.
남유럽 및 영국 일부 지역에서 일명 블러드 레인으로 불리는 붉은색 비가 내리는 현상이 관측됐습니다. 이는 아프리카 사하라 사막에서 발생한 먼지가 북상해 대기 중에 퍼지면서 빗방울을 붉은색이나 주황색으로 물들인 결과로 알려졌습니다.
Yeah, so the reason this happens is because the dust particles in the Saharan desert, they're sort of red tinted, mineral rich iron oxide. And when it mixes with rain, it goes into the atmosphere, and then when it rains, it causes the rainwater to appear give it this red or reddish brown look. So it's called blood rain, or sometimes it's called mud rain or
Right.
dirty rain.
Because
as
it's
well.
either red or brown. But yeah, this time around, it's affecting southern Europe. Even England. in
Yeah,
fact,
and it's a big nuisance because it causes dust on, anything that's outdoors, your cars, windows, if you have furniture outside.
Yeah.
So it just becomes, it's a cause of air pollution. And I think here in Korea, we're familiar with it, but it's not red. We have yellow dust
Yes.
oftentimes. And when it rains, you get that thin layer or coat of yellow dust on your cars, especially in the spring or the fall, right?
우리는 이제 황사 문제가 있죠. yellow dust. 그다음에 또 뭐 fine dust, 미세먼지도 우리가 겪고 있는 문제라면은 유럽에서는 이 blood rain이라고 해서 사하라 사막에서 미세한 모래 입자들이 바람과 섞이면서 이제 빗물과 이제 섞이게 되면은 붉은색이나 갈색을 띈다고 해요. 그래서 이제 blood rain 아니면 mud rain 이렇게 부르는 건데 it's a phenomenon
Yes.
known as that.
Right. A phenomenon would be any sort of special event or pattern, I guess you could say, that experts will recognize and study. So in this way, you would say something that experts call, or often phenomenon known as
Right.
something.
뭐뭐로 알려진 현상, phenomenon. The plural is phenomena. 자, 그 다음에는 deposit 한번 볼까요?
Yeah, this one's interesting. It's not like a bank deposit.
No.
In sort of environmental or scientific contexts, deposits are substances that settle or are left behind on a surface after being carried there by either wind or water or any other process.
쌓여 있는 그런 축적물, 잔여물 이런 것들을 이제 deposit라고 하는데요. Reddish or orange deposits fall from the sky.
Right. Mountains, when you're mining for metals, there are ore deposits in the mines,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. 그래요. 그때도 그런 이제 잔여물 아니면 축적된 물, 그런 것들을 얘기합니다. Deposits. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Parts of southern Europe and the UK have experienced a phenomenon known as blood rain, in which Saharan dust, carried north by high altitude winds, mixes with rainfall to create reddish or orange deposits. Now, here's our next headline.
New research reveals that being close to individuals who constantly cause stress, often referred to as toxic people, can accelerate aging at the cellular level, with the damage being more severe when the source of stress is a family member.
지속적으로 스트레스를 유발하며 부정적인 영향을 미치는 사람이 주변에 있을 경우 생물학적 노화가 빨라질 수 있으며 이런 스트레스 원인이 가족 구성원일 때는 피해가 더 크다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다.
Yes. So these toxic people, they're also called hasslers. And they're people in scientific terms that constantly cause mental stress or annoyance to those around them. And according to this study, if you have these people around you, you age 1.5% faster. So one calendar year would be 1.015 years for people with a lot of these hasslers or toxic people around them.
Yeah, and obviously family members you spend more time with. So I guess that's why it's more stressful. Is that why?
Yeah, and a lot of these symptoms are very similar to other sort of well-known chronic stress factors like financial hardship or workplace discrimination. So it is something that really affects you, and it increases inflammatory responses, it weakens the immune system, and it elevates your cardiovascular disease risk. So there are actual health sort of consequences if you have these sort of toxic people around you.
You know, there's that 4-character 사자성어, 금묵자흑, which means if you go close to black water or black ink, then you're bound to become a little bit black yourself, which is like, it doesn't matter how clear the water is when you start it off with, you just add a bit of black ink and the whole water becomes either gray or murky or just black.
It sounds like one bad apple spoils the bunch, right?
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But in this case, we're talking about stress and aging. 그래서 이렇게 나에게 스트레스를 주는 사람과 많은 시간을 보내게 되면은 스트레스가 당연히 계속 쌓이는 것은 물론이지만 생물학적인 노화가 빨라질 수 있다라는 연구 결과입니다. 자, 표현 한번 볼게요. Refer to as something.
Yeah, when you refer something to something, you're mentioning or describing it, right? You're calling it by a different name, and you're sort of describing it as something.
뭐뭐라 일컬어지는 그러니까 toxic people이라 일컬어지는 사람들과 시간을 많이 보내면 이런 뜻이 되겠고요. Source of stress.
Yeah, if something's a source of stress, it causes worry, of course, anxiety, possibly mental strain. It's a lot of pressure on a lot of people.
소스라는 게 주 원료가 될 수도 있고 우리가 무언가를 이제 인용했을 때 이거 어디서 가져온 것인지 그 소스 머티리얼을 얘기해야 되죠. 그래야지 출처를 밝힐 수가 있으니까. 그런 것처럼 여기서 말하는 source of stress는 스트레스의 원인이라고 해석을 할 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. New research reveals that being close to individuals who constantly cause stress, often referred to as toxic people, can accelerate aging at the cellular level, with the damage being more severe when the source of stress is a family member. Now here's our final headline.
Multiple studies have found that showering with warm water 90 minutes before bed can enhance sleep quality and skin health by triggering the body's natural temperature regulation system.
네. 잠들기 약 90분 전에 따뜻한 물로 샤워하면 몸속 체온 조절 기능이 활성화돼 수면의 질은 물론 피부 건강도 좋아진다는 다수의 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. 네, 따뜻한 물로 잠들기 1시간 반 전에 샤워하는 게 아주 좋군요.
Yes, and specifically if the water is between 40 and 42 degrees Celsius.
Okay, specifically.
Yes, according to this study, because what it does is it activates blood circulation from the body's core out to your extremities, like your hands and feet. And this releases heat from the body and it naturally lowers the core body temperature. And what it does, of course, it keeps you very relaxed, I guess you could say, before you go to bed.
이게 그 미국 연구인데요. 미국에서 제가 아는 이제 많은 미국 분들은 사실 아침에 샤워하는 게 루틴인 그런 얘기를 제가 많이 들어서 그런지 이 연구 결과가 그래서 더 놀라웠어요. 그러니까 밤에 샤워하는 게 더 좋다라는 얘기잖아요. 어떻게 보면
Yes.
혈액순환이 잘 되니까. 그래서 특별히 아침에 샤워를 꼭 해야만 하는 게 아니라면 그러면 저녁 때 하는 게 더 좋을 수도 있다. 뭐 아침 저녁 다 해도 되겠지만
Certain people are morning shower people,
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
are evening power. I think it's a preference, right?
그래요, 그렇습니다.
But according to this, your body temperature actually changes
Right.
during sleep. There's a cycle. Your core body temperature drops by about half a degree Celsius about 1 hour into your sleep, and it reaches its lowest point during the sort of middle to latter stages of sleep. So I think you want to get that temperature down as soon as possible with this shower.
오케이, 그래요.
Yeah, but you want to avoid very, very hot showers because then what you do is you're damaging your skin
Yeah.
as well. So that's why I mentioned the 40 to 42 degrees.
yeah.
So maybe get out a thermometer.
자, 샤워할 때 물의 온도를 체크하시는 분이 얼마나 될지는 모르겠지만 그래도 한 40도에서 42도가 적정 온도라고 합니다. 너무 뜨거우면 또 피부가 건조해지니까 그건 또 좋지 않을 수 있고요. 뭐든지 too extreme 한 거는 안 좋죠.
Yes.
Everything in moderation. Enhance 볼까요?
Yeah, when you're enhancing something, ENHANCE, you're improving the quality of something. It could be the appearance, the value of something. You're making it better, in
Yeah.
other words.
향상시킨다. ENHANCE, enhance. 자, 그리고 temperature regulation system.
Yeah, so this is a sort of scientific term where
Yeah.
it's a system or a mechanism that controls and maintains your temperature within a certain range because all animals, they sort of have their own ideal temperature level. Like
Sure.
Reptiles, they're cold-blooded, so they have lower body temperatures, I believe. Yeah.
temperature regulation system은 체온 조절 기능을 말합니다.
Right. Another word for this is thermoregulation, but that's a little more
Thermo.
scientific. Yes.
Thermoregulation. 알겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Multiple studies have found that showering with warm water 90 minutes before bed can enhance sleep quality and skin health by triggering the body's natural temperature regulation system. 여기에도 트리거가 한 번 더 나왔네요. 이렇게 하게끔 한다. 자, 여기까지입니다.
K-pop Demon Hunters has made history by winning Best Animated Feature at the 98th Academy Awards, while its breakout track Golden secured the Oscar for Best Original Song.
제98회 아카데미 시상식에서 K-pop 데몬 헌터즈가 장편 애니메이션상을 수상한 데 이어 영화 속 히트곡 골든으로 주제가상 트로피까지 들어올렸습니다. Two awards for K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes, I think a lot of us were hoping and crossing our fingers, and some were expecting a win, but I'm very glad it did. I mean, the competition, I have to say, wasn't that strong. K-pop Demon Hunters stood out compared to Arco or Elio or Little Amelie and Zootopia 2. I think it was the best of the bunch, and a deserved win, and certainly Golden has been the hit of the past year. They had beautiful speeches. When the co-director Maggie Kang went on stage to accept the award for Best Animation, she said, "Those of you that look like me, I want to apologize to you for how long it's taken for Hollywood to represent Asian people in a movie like K-pop Demon Hunters." And it is true that it's only in the last few years at award ceremonies we've seen Asian faces standing up for these big awards. And
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood, yes,
Yeah.
certainly. Certainly here in Korea, we celebrate Korean filmmakers.
All the
but
time, yeah.
But in Hollywood, yes. And then, of course, Golden was a beautiful win. I have to say, the one thing that I was a little bit annoyed about was that both awards, they were cut off in their speeches. They didn't quite get enough time to finish. And I know they have to keep the show running.
It's a
but
live award ceremony and they don't have much time, I guess.
Yes, but I wanted to hear what they had to say. So
I see.
congratulations to everybody who made K-pop Demon Hunters.
그래요. 어제 아카데미 시상식의 수상자들이 발표가 됐습니다. 그래서 Best Animated Feature의 K-pop Demon Hunters가 또 역시 K-pop Demon Hunters의 Golden은 Best Original Song 어워드까지 거머쥐게 됐습니다. 그 외에도 이제 수상자들을 간략하게 좀 언급을 하면은요, 작품상이죠. Best Picture.
네.
이거는 One Battle After Another. 받게 됐고요. Best Actress was Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. And Best Actor was Michael B. Jordan in Sinners.
Yes, playing two roles, not one.
그래요. 트윈스 역할
네.
한다면서요. 네, 지금 이 영화는 못 봤는데. 그리고 Best Director는 역시 One Battle After Another의 감독인 폴 토머스 앤더슨이 받게 됐습니다.
There was also quite an astounding moment. I don't know whether you saw it, Sue. There was a tie. for best short
Yes,
film.
yes, that's right.
And it very, very rarely happens. And it was quite extraordinary. Two films
Yep.
have got the Oscar for that. I think
맞아요.
well deserved, but everybody was a little bit surprised by the outcome.
Yeah, I saw the list. I didn't actually see the footage, but
Yeah.
the list, it says best live action short went to both the singers and two people exchanging saliva.
Yes, not sure about the title of the second one.
I haven't watched either, I have to say, but yeah.
No, but I think the wonderful thing about these award ceremonies are the surprises,
Yes.
are the moments that shock, surprise, stun us. And I think Conan O'Brien, too, did a fantastic job as the host,
As
the
the
second
host,
time
yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
So, yes, congratulations to everybody.
Exactly.
When are we going to win one?
Never? 수상자가 워낙 많아서 수상 작품도 그렇고 그래서 다 소개해드리지는 못하지만 굵직굵직한 거 몇 개만 소개해드렸습니다. 자, 뭐 이 리스트는 온라인상에서 굉장히 쉽게 구하실 수 있을 것 같고요. 표현 좀 볼게요. To make history.
Well, if you make history, you do something important or notable, something that people want to recognize or will recognize that's usually never been done before, or at
Exactly.
least in your country or in your time or whatever it may be.
So to make history is to do that really important thing, and your name is going to go down in history.
Yes.
And then you add by doing something.
Exactly.
So you make history by ing. 여기서 이제 역사에 남다, 역사에 남을 만한 일을 하다. 뭐 하면서 by 그리고 ing 동사가 이렇게 나오면 됩니다. So K-pop Demon Hunters has made history by winning Best Animated Feature. 그리고 이제 쭉쭉쭉 가죠. And what's a breakout track or a breakout song? What's breakout as an adjective?
Well, if we talk about someone's breakout song, for example, it's the song that makes them famous. It's a song that makes them a star.
Right.
A breakout performance in a movie will be maybe a relatively unknown actor. Suddenly, people start looking at them. Suddenly, they start getting awards from this one movie, this one performance. So it's something that thrusts us into the public eye, that makes us famous or successful.
그래요. breakout라는 형용사는 갑자기 유명해졌다는 뜻이어서 a breakout track 그러면은 갑자기 뜬 노래, a breakout hit 그러면 갑자기 히트가 된 작품. 또 이런 게 있을 수 있어요. 스포츠에서 that rookie player had a breakout season. 그래서 갑자기 이번 시즌 때 엄청 그리고 실력이 아주 좋아서 좋은 경기를 펼친 그런 경우.
Or it might have been their breakout moment.
Yes, exactly. 그래서 갑자기 이렇게 뜨거나 유명해지거나 이럴 때 breakout라는 표현을 쓰죠. Alright, well let me read it one more time. K-pop Demon Hunters has made history by winning Best Animated Feature at the 98th Academy Awards, while its breakout track Golden secured the Oscar for Best Original Song. Here's our second headline.
Cross-country skier Kim Yoon-ji has established a new record for the most medals won by a Korean athlete at a single Olympic or Paralympic Games by securing her fifth medal of the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Paralympics with a gold in the women's 20-kilometer interval start sitting para cross-country event.
2026 밀라노 코티나 단페소 동계 패럴림픽에 참가한 우리나라 김윤지 선수가 크로스컨트리 스키 여자 20km 인터벌 스타트 좌식에서 이번 대회 5번째 메달인 금메달을 목에 걸었습니다. 이로써 김윤지 선수는 올림픽과 패럴림픽 모두 합해 한국 스포츠 사상 최다인 단일 대회 메달 5개 획득이라는 대기록을 세웠습니다.
Talk about making history.
Yes,
she
she's
has made history
she
by
has.
winning so many medals.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think we all paid attention when she won the gold. And then she won 3 silvers.
Yeah.
And then she won another gold. She is astonishing.
Amazing.
She was the first Korean to win 2 gold medals at the Paralympics. And now, she's become the first female Korean athlete, basically to take all of these home.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. She's absolutely brilliant, an amazing skier, and I hope that this is her breakout moment.
Yes, exactly. 그럴 것 같아요. 정말 breakout moment은 물론 유명해진 게 굉장히 짧은 시간 안에 유명해진 거지만 그러고 이제 쭉 갈 수 있는 거예요.
Exactly. So we think of Kim Yeon-ah, who's been famous forever and
Yeah,
ever,
yeah.
but it's all because of that one breakout
Breakout
moment.
performance? Yeah.
at the Olympics way back when.
아, 그래요. 그래서 이렇게 탁 뜨고 어떤 대박을 터뜨린 느낌인데
네.
그러고 나서 그 다음에 쭉 잘 되는 경우들도 많이 있죠. 참 그런 것 같습니다. 김윤지 선수 역시. Establish a new record. What does that mean, Paul?
Similar to making history.
Yeah.
Because you do make history by establishing a new record. We're not breaking a record because no record exists for this. It's never been done before. It's unprecedented. So you're making a record, creating a record, doing something for the first time.
You know, sometimes you'll see a company name and then in brackets, established in 1875 or established in 1993. 그래서 언제 세워진 회사다. 설립 그 연도를 이렇게 표현할 때도 established를 쓰는데 new record를 establish 했다. 새로운 기록을 세웠다. 그래서 뭐 예를 들자면은 the company established a new sales record this year. 이렇게 말할 수도 있고요. 그래서 새로운 기록을 세우다. What about to secure something?
Here, we're not locking anything up. It means we're getting something or we're winning something. You'll find this word used a lot in sports journalism. The Korean team secured a win against America, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. We use this a lot to just mean they got it, they did it, they won.
맞아요. 확보하다, 얻다라는 기본적인 의미를 가지고 있으니까 우리가 번역할 때는 이렇게 많은 메달을 획득했다, 거머쥐었다,
네.
손에 쥐었다 이렇게 다 표현할 수 있겠죠. 영어로는 secure라는 단어로 표현할 수 있습니다. And you can also secure a scholarship if you're
Absolutely.
studying abroad, for example, or if you're going to school,
Yeah.
university normally, not before that.
And there's a sense of safety and guarantee with it. That there's no doubt about this.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've secured a scholarship, you've got it, you're going.
Yes.
Maybe if you haven't secured a scholarship, but you might get a scholarship, you need to get this grade or that grade or whatever it may be. You need to qualify for it.
So that you can secure it.
Exactly. But if you've secured it, it's yours 100%.
좋아요. 다시 읽어보겠습니다. 2026 밀라노 코티나 단페조 동계 패럴림픽에 참가한 우리나라 김윤지 선수가 크로스컨트리 여자 스키 20km 인터벌 스타트 좌식에서 이번 대회 5번째 메달인 금메달을 목에 걸었습니다. 이로써 김윤지 선수는 올림픽과 패럴림픽을 모두 합해 한국 스포츠 사상 최다인 단일 대회 메달 5개 획득이라는 대기록을 세웠습니다. All right, well, let's
Yes.
take a break.
Would you like the English headline one more time?
Oh, did we? Oh, I
You
did.
just
What?
did the Korean headline.
Why did I do that?
I'm not sure, but that's okay.
너무 좋은 소식을 연달아서
그럼요.
듣다 보니까 좀 몇 년째 하는 방송의 포맷을 잊어버렸네요.
No, that's all right. You're excited about it.
다시 한번 영문으로
네.
헤드라인 읽어드리겠습니다. Cross-country skier Kim Yoon-ji has established a new record for the most medals won by a Korean athlete at a single Olympic or Paralympic Games by securing her 5th medal of the 2026 Milano Cortina Winter Paralympics with a gold in the women's 20-kilometer interval start sitting para cross-country event.
That's a mouthful of a headline.
Right. Well, that was a first.
You've made history.
For forgetting how to do the show after
Yes.
who knows how many shows.
I won't call it a breakout performance, though. Korea's February exports climbed over 28% year on year to a record high for the month, fueled by a 158% surge in semiconductor shipments that topped $20 billion for the third consecutive month.
지난달 우리나라 수출이 지난해 동월 대비 28% 이상 증가해 역대 2월 중 최대 수출 실적을 기록했습니다. 이는 반도체 수출액이 약 158% 급증하면서 3개월 연속 200억 달러를 돌파한 데 따른 결과입니다.
It's good news. We've got exports. It's been a 9-month streak on year increases.
Yep.
So it's just been up and up and up and up. For imports, it's been 13 months of increases.
Right.
So business is booming. Things are coming in and
Yeah.
things are going out. But yeah, so 67.3 billion US dollars of exports last month, and that was up 28.7% from last year's February. Of course, we talk about chips, we talk about semiconductors. That's a big part. They were up again. They jumped 157.9%, up to $25.26 billion.
Yep.
So they're above 20 billion for the third month in a row, doing very, very well. When it comes to where we're exporting, China's still the big one. That expanded by 34.1%. It's now at $12.74 billion. The US was up by 28.5%, and Vietnam was also up by 23.9%. So yes, those seem to be very happy customers getting a lot of Korean products.
It was the biggest figure for February exports. 역대 2월 수출액 중에서 가장 높은 그런 실적을 기록했습니다. 자, 그러면 한번 표현 볼게요. First one is to climb.
Yes, well, I'm sure coming up in the weekends to come, there will be many climbers, many people going up the mountain.
Yeah.
To climb a mountain means to go up the mountain, to climb up. So if something climbs, it is increasing, it's going up. So when we're talking about finances, figures, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
if a number is climbing, exports are climbing, that means they're going up. And if they climb over a number, they go higher than that number.
그렇죠. 우리 등산할 때도 climb a mountain이라고 하지만 올라가는 동작을 말하는데 숫자와 함께 나왔을 때는 이만큼 증가했다, 상승했다의 느낌이 되겠죠. So we could talk about prices climbing. For example, I think everything's more expensive.
Yes.
But, coffee prices, for example, have climbed over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Much more expensive now than they used to be. 자, 그 다음에 top 하고 나서 어떤 수치.
Yes, to climb over and to top mean the same thing. It means you go above whatever number we're talking about. So if you, in this case, it's semiconductors topping $20 billion for the third consecutive month, that means they were over $20 million. They climbed above that.
그렇죠. climb above or climb over라고 하면은 이 top이라는 동사랑 비슷한 의미가 될 텐데 top 그리고 수치라는 것은 어떤 수치를 넘다라는 뜻입니다. So, for example, moviegoers topped 13 million last week. 이렇게
Yes.
표현을 할 수 있을 것 같고요. Interesting thing about movies is that in Korea we look at moviegoers, whereas in the US they look at ticket sales.
Yes, they talk about the box office.
Yeah, we say box office too, but we're looking at the number of people that
I
went
see,
to the
yes.
movies. Whereas in the US, they're looking at dollars, how much money was made at the theaters. So that's just a different way of measuring how successful a movie is. But yeah, to top something 이라는 표현까지. 자, 그럼 다시 읽어보겠습니다. In English. Korea's February exports climbed over 28% year on year to a record high for the month, fueled by a 158% surge in semiconductor shipments that topped $20 billion for the third consecutive month. Let's move on to the next headline.
Global markets will soon receive over 411 million barrels of crude and refined oil products as International Energy Agency member countries, including those in Asia and Oceania, begin an emergency reserve release.
아시아 오세아니아 지역을 위시한 국제에너지기구 IEA 회원국들이 전략 비축유 방출을 시작함에 따라 원유 및 석유 제품 4억 1,100만 배럴 이상의 물량이 글로벌 시장에 곧 공급될 예정입니다. All right, so the IEA is taking measures to help the world. What's happening?
Yes, well, everything that's been going on with Iran and the Straits of Hormuz means the entire world is worried about oil supplies. And so the IEA have released these emergency reserves. And that means we should have 411.9 million barrels available to the world. They're coming from government stocks, about 271.7 million barrels, from industry stocks as well, about 116.6 million barrels, and then other sources will also supply oil. Most of it is going to be crude, about 72%, and 28% are going to be other oil products. And Well, this is very good news for the world because
Right.
I think everybody was worried that energy prices would be going up and up and up and up and up.
Right, let's have a look at the expressions used here. First of all, you said crude just there. So
I did.
crude, oil, and refined oil.
Yes, crude oil is the oil you get out the ground. Nothing has been done to it. It has not been processed.
Yeah.
It has not been treated. It has not been refined.
It's almost like the raw state of
Exactly.
the oil. 그렇죠. 원유를 crude oil이라고 합니다. Then refined oil is not the raw state.
No, it's been processed. It has
processed.
it has been refined, as we say. Yes, so if something is refined, it goes through a process to make it better quality, to change it into whatever product we need.
그래서 이 crude oil, 원유를 가공하고 처리한 그런 뭐 정제유라고나 할까요? 그런 걸 이제 직역을 하자면은 그게 refined oil입니다. 우리가 말하는 보통의 석유 제품들 그런 거를 refined oil products라고 얘기할 수 있겠죠. 등유, 경유, 중유 이런 것들을 다 얘기하고 있는데 자, 그래서 crude and refined oil products는 원유 그리고 정제 석유 제품 아니면 그냥 원유 및 석유 제품 이렇게 얘기를 하면 되겠습니다. Now, what about the noun? Oh, sorry. Are we looking? Yes, the noun.
Yes, the noun.
The
Yes,
noun
that's right.
release.
Yes, a release is something that we put for sale or we put on the market. We let it into the public domain or we let it become available. So we talk about a movie has a release, for example, or an album has a release, or in this case, we have oil reserves that have a release.
release라는 명사. 방출 또는 배출의 의미도 있고요. 지금 얘기하신 영화나 앨범 같은 경우에는 출시, 발표의 의미가 있습니다. So yeah, the movie's release is scheduled for next week. 예를 들자면은 그다음에는 the rice cooker. 우리 다 밥솥 있잖아요, 집에. Rice cookers have a steam release valve on the top of the rice cooker, on the lid. 그래서 이렇게 증기가 방출되는 요런 밸브가 있죠. 그거를 영어로는 steam release valve라고 얘기할 수 있습니다. 자, 그러면 다시 읽어볼게요. Global markets will soon receive over 411 million barrels of crude and refined oil products as International Energy Agency member countries, including those in Asia and Oceania, begin an emergency reserve release. Let's move on to the final headline.
A sleep expert has warned that drinking coffee immediately after waking can reduce its effectiveness and instead recommends waiting at least 90 minutes to maximize its alertness boosting benefits.
잠에서 깬 직후에 커피를 마시면 오히려 커피의 각성 효과가 떨어질 수 있으며 이를 극대화할 수 있는 최적의 타이밍은 기상 후 최소 90분 뒤라는 수면 전문가의 견해가 나왔습니다.
I'm not sure how many people will be happy about this. I think there are many people who don't want to wait 90 minutes for their morning coffee.
It depends on what time you wake up. It's 8:35 right now, so if you woke up at, say, 7 or before that, you can have your coffee.
Yeah, but surely you want it at about 7:15.
Well, then wake up at 5.
But then you want it at 5:15.
Then wake up at 3:30. I don't know.
Yeah, this is certainly when it comes to health, it seems like the longer you leave it, if you can leave it that 90 minutes, is going to be better for you. So the issue is this American doctor, Dr. Michael Breas, has said is that when you wake up, that initial moment when you wake up, your body is releasing adrenaline and cortisol. These are the hormones that make you sort of go, "Ooh, what's happening? Where am I? What's going on?"
Okay.
And so if you have caffeine straight away, that's going to affect your hormone balance. And also the other thing it can do is to build up your caffeine tolerance, which means you don't need just one cup of coffee. You may need 2, 3, 4 or more. The other issue is dehydration because we lose a lot of water during sleep through our breathing and through our sweating. And if you're only drinking coffee immediately as you wake up, then that is a diuretic. It can make you dehydrated. So I think the advice would probably be have a big glass of water and wait an hour and a half for your coffee.
그래요. Diuretic means a drink that makes you go to the toilet
Yes,
to do a number one.
exactly, yes.
이뇨작용이 있는 음료를 얘기하고 있죠. 커피가 그렇습니다. 그러니까 이제 90분 일어나고 나서 90분 정도는 지나야 우리가 기대하는 그런 각성 효과도 있고 호르몬 밸런스도 깨지지 않는다라고 하니까요. 일어나자마자 커피 마시는 거는 좀 지양을 해야겠다는 생각이 드네요. Let's have a look at doing something immediately after waking up, for example.
Yeah, if you do A immediately after B, that's it straight away. There's no pause, there's no delay. The A happens as soon as B finishes.
Yeah, a lot of people will want to go home immediately after work.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes. Well, that's a
9,
lot of people.
9:55,
A lot
I'm in
of-
the taxi.
그래서 immediately after something. 그러면은 뭐뭐 한 직후에 라는 뜻이고요. And what about alertness boosting benefits?
Well, a benefit is something positive, something that's good for you. And if your alertness is boosted, that means your alertness is increased. You
Yeah.
are made more alert. And if you're alert, you're aware of what is going on, if there's anything happening or if there's any danger.
Alertness boosting benefits는 여기서 이제 각성 효과 또는 뭐 집중력 향상 효과를 얘기하고 있죠. So that's the reason people drink coffee because they like its alert boosting benefit.
Yes, but you're going to have to wait 90 minutes if you want the full alertness boosting benefits.
Yeah, I think I needed my coffee. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet. It's been 4 hours since I woke up. So it's enough time for
Yeah.
me to have my coffee.
I haven't had
Yeah.
I haven't had a coffee in 6 months. I
Oh.
think I've left it long enough.
There you go. Can't beat that. All right, well, here's the headline again. A sleep expert has warned that drinking coffee immediately after waking can reduce its effectiveness and instead recommends waiting at least 90 minutes to maximize its alertness boosting benefits. All right, let's wrap it up there. Those were our 5 headlines this morning with Paul Matthews.
Fuel surcharges for international flights departing in April are set to skyrocket as rising global oil prices and a weakened Korean won, driven by Middle East instability, push airfares higher.
중동 사태로 인한 국제유가 급등 및 고환율 현상으로 항공 운임이 크게 뛰면서 오는 4월 국제선 항공권 가격에 붙는 유류 할증료가 전달과 비교해 큰 폭으로 오를 전망입니다. Alright, so if you're planning on traveling anywhere, be prepared to pay a little extra.
Yeah, pay maybe a lot extra. Yeah, so international airfares from Korea are set to rise next month as fuel surcharges surge, driven by higher global oil prices and, of course, a weakened won amid what's going on in the Middle East. The jet fuel price benchmark jumped from level 6 to level 18 in just a month. It's the steepest increase since the system began in 2016, and this has prompted airlines to more than triple their surcharges. Asiana Airlines will raise one-way fuel fees to as much as 251,000 won, which is up sharply from current levels. Korean Air is also expected to significantly increase its surcharges, and the hike is likely to push overall ticket prices higher for travelers during the spring season.
그래요. 유류 할증료 산정 기준이 그 mean of Platts Singapore라고 해서 싱가포르 항공유 평균값인데 이게 지금 또 덩달아서 급등했기 때문에
Yeah.
우리도 이제 여행을 할 때 유류 할증료를 더 많이 내야 될 것으로 이렇게 예상이 됩니다. 4월부터 이제 한 10만 원 정도 오를 것으로 이렇게 예상이 된다고 해요.
Yeah. And it adds up when you're traveling because
Oh,
you're
it
not
does.
just paying for airfare, you're paying for, accommodation
Yeah.
and also spending in that country as well.
Exactly. All right, let's look at the word surcharge.
Yeah, surcharge. So it's an additional fee or charge or a tax that's added to the base price of a good or service. So unlike standard taxes or base prices, these surcharges are typically added at the final stage of a transaction to offset specific costs. So if you have the basic airfare, the surcharge related to fuel would be added after all the charges are added up.
Right. charge는 요금, surcharge는 추가 요금인데요. 여기서 말하는 fuel surcharge는 유류 할증료가 되겠네요.
Yeah.
And what about to skyrocket?
Skyrocket. So the word rockets in there and sky is in there. So think of something going up very fast and very steeply. So when we're talking about prices or rates or amounts, if it increases very steeply or rapidly, often to very high or unprecedented levels, we can say that it has skyrocketed.
Exactly. 동사 skyrocket는 급등하다라는 뜻이죠. 그래서 prices of airfare, or I should say airfare, that has the word prices in it, are set to skyrocket.
Yep.
Set to do something이라는 표현도 저희가 많이 보게 되는데 뭐뭐 할 예정이다. 그래서 치솟을 예정이다.
Yeah, and gas prices have skyrocketed.
Yes.
If you've noticed, I was looking at the different gas prices, trying to find the cheapest place when I was trying to get gas last week.
And did you find any place that was under 1900 won?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah,
That's
so I was very thankful and filled it up. Filled up the car.
자, 그러면 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Fuel surcharges for international flights departing in April are set to skyrocket as rising global oil prices and a weakened Korean won, driven by Middle East instability, push airfares higher. All right, let's move on to the next headline.
Korea is set to introduce a new extreme heat warning this summer, triggered when either the daily maximum perceived temperature reaches 38 degrees Celsius or the actual high exceeds 39 degrees Celsius for at least one day.
기상청이 올 여름부터 폭염 중대 경보를 도입해 일 최고 체감온도가 38도 이상이거나 일 최고 기온이 39도 이상인 상황이 하루 이상 지속되는 경우 이를 발령하기로 결정했습니다. All right, so we're getting new terms, new standards.
Yep.
What's going on here?
Yeah, well, I guess, does this mean we're going to have a very hot summer? Maybe.
This may be the norm now.
Yeah, it may be the norm. So yes, it's an extreme heat warning that will be introduced. It's very new. It's a new system. And this will be triggered when perceived temperatures hit 38 degrees Celsius or if the actual high exceeds 39 degrees Celsius, even for just one day.
Yeah.
This is according to the Korea Meteorological Administration. They said the measure aims to better reflect increasing severe heat events linked to climate change. Officials noted that the current heat wave warning has lost impact due to its frequency. It just happens all the time. And with Seoul under alerts nearly 40% of last summer days. So a new tropical night advisory will also be tested and issued when nighttime temperatures stay above 25 degrees Celsius or higher, depending on the region. And they're saying that the system will be rolled out on a trial basis starting June 1st.
네. 이렇게 기상청이요, 폭염 중대 경보, 그리고 열대야 주의보를 신설하게 됩니다. 6월 1일부터 발령될 예정이고요. 이제 표현을 좀 볼까요? When it comes to the 폭염 중대 경보, or I guess the extreme heat warning in English, this is going to be either when the feels like temperature is about 38 degrees, or the actual temperature exceeds 39 degrees.
That's
so
right.
either A or B.
Yeah, either something. It's a structure that we
You learn very early on. Yes.
when you start learning English, right? So and it's used to present a choice between two possibilities. It's either A or either B, and it indicates that one option will happen or be true, but maybe typically not both. So it usually means one or the other.
You can say either or either.
Yeah.
Both are fine. And if we actually look at what those different options are, the first one is the daily maximum perceived temperature reaching 38 degrees.
Right. And we talk about this a lot because a lot of different factors actually affect how you feel when, even if the temperature is, it could be 30 degrees, but it could feel a lot hotter. So it's also known as feels like or apparent temperature. And it's an index that describes the temperature equivalent as sensed by the human body. So it accounts for the fact that air temperature alone does not determine how hot or cold a person may feel. And instead, it combines different factors like different environmental factors like humidity or wind speed.
그래요. 우리는 이제 체감온도라는 표현이 있죠. 영어로는 다양하게 표현할 수 있는데 perceived temperature라는 표현이 여기서는 사용이 됐습니다. perceived, 인식이 되다. 그러한 온도, 체감 온도. 또 다른 말로는 feels like 몇 도 이렇게 할 수도 있고 the real feel 이렇게 표현하기도 하고요. perceived temperature가 있으면은 반대로 actual temperature가 있겠죠. 실제 기온인데요. 그래서 if the actual high exceeds 39 degrees, then again this new extreme heat warning will be issued. 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. Korea is set to introduce a new extreme heat warning this summer, triggered when either the daily maximum perceived temperature reaches 38 degrees Celsius or the actual high exceeds 39 degrees Celsius for at least one day.
BTS is expected to generate over 100 trillion won through their global Arirang tour, according to industry sources, with major international media outlets predicting the tour will even surpass the economic impact generated by Taylor Swift's tours.
그룹 방탄소년단이 해외 투어 공연 아리랑을 통해 100조 원 이상의 생산 유발 효과를 창출할 것이라는 업계의 전망이 나오는 가운데 주요 외신들은 이번 투어의 경제 효과 규모가 테일러 스위프트의 경우마저 뛰어넘을 것으로 추측했습니다. Alright, well, tell us more.
Yeah, so they're saying that it's expected to generate over 100 trillion won or 70 billion US dollars in economic impact through its comeback concert and global tour. The kickoff performance for the global tour is set for June 21st at Gwanghwamun Plaza, and analysts
June
say
21st.
the scale of BTSnomics. I love how they use this expression. BTSnomics could surpass the economic impact of Taylor Swift's tours, driven by 82 shows across 34 cities around the world. So a single domestic concert alone is estimated to generate up to 1.2 trillion won, and that includes tourism and related industries. And the event is also expected to draw massive global attention, with tens of millions of viewers anticipated through live stream. And experts say the concert will further cement both BTS's global influence and also the city of Seoul's status as a cultural hub.
그래요. I think this weekend is the sort of the free tour in Gwanghwamun.
Yeah, and they have like a month long. I think what I've heard is they'll have like a month-long thing going on, and then they have another tour that's set to kick off later. So lots of events because they're all back from the military, and they will be working together as a group instead of doing individual activities.
그래요. 그러니까 이번 주말에는 광화문 광장에서
the
공연을
Gwanghwamun
하게
Plaza
되고,
concert. Yeah,
네, 이게
that's like the open event.
맞습니다.
Yes.
그래서 넷플릭스에서도 이게 생중계가 된다고 해요. 그것을 시작으로 그다음에 34개 도시에서 79회 공연을 하는 것으로 알고 있습니다. 전반적으로 이제 봤을 때는 아마 창출 수익이 100조, 아이고, 다 너무나 숫자가
Yeah,
크다
it's a
보니까
huge number.
10조도 큰데 100조 원 이상이 될 것이다. 이렇게 지금 예상이 되고 있어서 테일러 스위프트 콘서트가 창출하는 것을 두고 그냥 아예 테일러 스위프트 경제학, 그래서 스위프트노믹스인가
Yep.
이렇게 스위프트노믹스
Yep.
이렇게 부르는데요. 그런 것처럼 BTS도 어떤 이제 BTS 경제학이라고 그냥 이름을 붙일 정도로 BTSnomics
Yeah.
이렇게 부르나요? 예.
And-
그런 말들이 나오고 있습니다.
Yeah, and I love that they're incorporating the cultural, artifacts in Korea, like Gwanghwamun Plaza. They're using, the front side of Gyeongbokgung, and they're making these cultural and historical places known to the world through their music.
Right.
And I did a little double check, and it is this weekend. It's
Right.
March 21st.
March
that
21st.
will be happening at Gwanghwamun Plaza. Yes.
그렇습니다. 그래서 약 80회 정도의 월드 투어 콘서트를 전 세계적으로
Yes.
이렇게 하게 돼서 콘서트 1회당 대략 한 1조 원 정도의 그런 이제 뭐랄까요? 여러 가지 수익이 있겠지만
Yeah, yeah.
그런 경제 효과가 있을 것이다. 이렇게 보고 있어요. 그런 게 이제 창출이 되다, 발생이 되다 할 때 우리는 generate라는 표현을 쓸 수가 있는데 let's have a look at that verb.
Yeah, we use this verb when we're talking about like energy, when something generates energy. And it means to produce or create or to bring something into existence. And it often implies a process where one thing acts as a source to create another.
그렇죠. To generate something, 만들어내다, 발생시키다, 창출하다가 되겠고요. 생산 유발 효과를 어마어마하게 많이 창출할 것으로
Yeah.
이렇게 예상이 돼요. So let's have a look at economic impact.
Yes, economic impact. So that would be the effect that an event like this major concert that they're having outdoors, it's like almost a national sort of event,
Right.
or a policy or an activity has on the financial and material well-being of a certain region.
그래요. 그래서 경제 효과, economic impact라고 얘기를 할 수 있겠죠. 제가 다시 한번 요 업데이트된 걸 보니까 34개 지역에서 82회 이상의 공연이 있을 것이다라고 하는 거 보니까
They could add more
더 있을
concerts
수도 있나
later.
봐요.
Yes.
네네, 그렇습니다.
That it seems to happen when something, when like a tour does really well and they sell out very quickly. For the people who weren't able to get tickets, they usually add a few more dates.
Exactly. And also, as you said earlier on, this weekend, a
Yes.
lot of people are expected to flock to Gwanghwamun Plaza.
Yeah,
so
to downtown
keep that
Seoul.
in mind. If you're not going to the concert, then maybe avoid the area.
Stay
'cause
away.
There's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the headline again. BTS is expected to generate over 100 trillion won through their global Arirang tour, according to industry sources, with major international media outlets predicting the tour will even surpass the economic impact generated by Taylor Swift's tours. Now let's move on to the next headline.
Mexico City has set a Guinness World Record for the largest soccer class ever, with about 9,500 people gathering in the Zocalo Central Plaza for a 40-minute open-air training session.
멕시코 수도 멕시코시티 소칼로 광장에서 열린 축구 교실에 9,500명의 인원이 참가해 40분간 야외 훈련을 함으로써 세계 최대 규모 축구 수업 부문 기네스 신기록이 세워졌습니다. 이게 수업 맞아요? 9,500명이 참가한
Sounds like
수업.
a mass,
와. 그러니까 tell us
massive
more.
event. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, yes.
This
so,
is like a concert.
yes. So yeah, it was the world's largest soccer training class, and it was a 40-minute session. It was held as part of a campaign ahead of the FIFA World Cup, and it far surpasses the previous record of 1,038 participants that was set in Seattle.
Right.
Mexico will co-host the tournament with the United States and Canada. So it's like a North American, Middle American FIFA World Cup this time. The opening match is scheduled for June 11th at Estadio Azteca. And despite excitement, of course, security concerns remain following there was some recent violence linked to organized crime in the area. But officials do say that measures will be in place to ensure safety during the event.
그래요. 세계 최대 규모 축구 수업이라는 기네스 기록이 있네요. 원래도. 근데 앞서서 이 기록을 세운 거는 시애틀이었어요. 시애틀에서 1,038명이 모여서 축구 수업을 한 적이 있었는데 이번에는 그걸 훨씬 뛰어넘은 거죠. 9,500명이 40분짜리 축구 레슨에 참가를 했습니다.
Yeah, nearly 10,000 people. And Mexico is not Central America. It's just North America. It's part of North America. So it will be happening along the three countries that are all linked together in that area.
우리는 이제 북중미 월드컵이라고 하기는 해요. 근데 이제 주요
Yeah,
개최국들이
isn't it Middle America? I'm not sure what the
그렇지만
countries
엄밀히
are.
따지면은
Yeah, it's part of
아니지만
North America.
근데 이제 지리적으로 봤을 때는 그렇게 보이죠. 그래서 이번에 캐나다, 북미, 멕시코 이렇게 세 개 개최국에서 주로 그 베뉴를 제공합니다.
Yeah.
월드컵이 그렇게 이번에 열리게 되고요. 표현을 좀 볼게요. Let's have a look at together.
Yeah, it's a gathering or to gather. To gather means people coming together in a group for a specific purpose. And you can use this in a noun form as gathering as well. That's how it was used in the article. And it means it's a meeting or a get together.
So when we're talking about people, it would be 모이다. But we can gather things as well. 그러면 모으다.
Gather my stuff together.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. 그래요. 모이다, 모으다 다 됩니다. To gather. And what about session?
Session. So this generally refers to a period of time dedicated to some sort of specific activity. So it could be a workout session.
Yep.
It could be an academic session. So it could refer to like a time period in a meeting of a court or legislature, educational body, some sort of period that's spent engaged in a particular pursuit.
네, 어떤 활동을 하는데 보내는 시간이에요. 그래서 이게 때로는 수업이 될 수도 있고 아니면은 운동을 하는 그런 이제 특정한 시간, 일정이 될 수도 있고요. 지금 얘기한 거는 법정에서도 이렇게 어떤 트라이얼,
Yeah.
재판이
Yeah.
이루어진다든지
A court
그러면
session,
네,
yes.
그것도 이제 court session. 그래서 일정 정해진 시간인 거죠. 그냥 우리가 말하는 what time is it 그 시간이 아니라 어떻게 보면은 뭐 수업으로 치면 뭐 1교시, 2교시 같은 그런 시간.
Yeah, it's usually a set time. So it would be
맞아요.
like a 50-minute session,
Exactly.
an hour session.
딱 정해진 그런 특정 활동을 하는 시간입니다. session. 우리가 외래어로 쓰기도 하는데 영어에서는 굉장히 다양하게 많이 씁니다. Right, let me read this one more time. Mexico City has set a Guinness World Record for the largest soccer class ever, with about 9,500 people gathering in the Zocalo Central Plaza for a 40-minute open-air training session. And here's our final headline.
Italy has purchased the portrait by Baroque artist Caravaggio for nearly $35 million, making it one of the most expensive artworks the country has ever acquired.
이탈리아가 바로크 시대 화가 카라바지오의 초상화 작품을 약 3,500만 달러, 우리 돈으로 약 513억 원에 사들였습니다. 이번 매입은 이탈리아 정부의 예술 작품 투자 중 가장 큰 규모에 해당하는 것으로 알려졌습니다. Alright, so tell us what happened, why the government has bought this, what's going on?
Oh yes. So this is it's just a really really expensive piece of artwork that the country has acquired. So it was created around 1598, and originally the artwork had been in a private collection in Florence, but it will now join the permanent collection of the Palazzo Berberini in Rome. And according to a statement from Italy's Ministry of Culture, the portrait is one of the most expensive artworks the country has ever acquired. Experts have attributed around 65 paintings to Caravaggio, who died at a very young age of 38. And they say that only a few were portraits, so it makes this portrait an incredibly rare artwork.
카라바조는 그 인물화 같은 경우에는 강한 명암 대비를 활용을 해서 마치 살아 움직이는 것 같다. 요즘으로 치면 그냥 거의 사진 같은 느낌으로 그림을 그렸었다라는 그런 화풍으로 굉장히 유명했던 화가인데 개인 소장이었던 이 작품을 이탈리아 정부가 사들인 겁니다. 그래서 정부가 투자한 그런 예술 작품 중에서는 가장 큰 규모의, 네, 우리 돈으로 한 513억 원 정도가 되는 금액에 매입을 했다는 소식이고요. 이렇게 사들이다. 영어로는 buy도 있지만 purchase.
Yes. So it means to acquire something.
Yep.
It could be a goods, service, or a right by paying money or its equivalent. So it's just simply it's the act of buying something.
Exactly. It's just a fancier word of, you know, to buy.
So when you usually use this when you say instead of saying I bought a car, you could say I purchased a car or I purchased real estate or I
Yeah.
purchased a home.
It sounds a little bit more formal.
Yes.
그냥 buy랑 의미가 같아요. 구매하다, 사다. 그렇지만 조금 더 공식적인 느낌이 있습니다.
Yeah.
Purchase. How do you spell it?
It's Purchase. Purchase.
명사로도 씁니다. A purchase. 그러면 구매가 되겠고요. And what about to acquire?
Yeah, to acquire. So this means to come into possession of something, typically through some sort of effort, a purchase, or a natural process, and it often implies a permanent or long-term gain.
To acquire라는 거는요, 손에 넣다, 획득하다라는 뜻인데, 이 정부가 사들여서, 그래서 이제 손에 넣었기 때문에 the government has acquired this art piece라고 하고 있죠.
And you can also use this when you're talking about like a skill, when you are
Yeah.
developing a new ability, a habit, or a piece of knowledge over time. So when you're acquiring like a fluency in a new language, you can use the word acquire as well.
그렇죠. 언어를 우리가 습득할 때도 쓸 수 있고 그 다음에 또 어디서 많이 쓰냐면은 merger and acquisition.
Yes.
그래서 인수하다 to acquire. 인수 합병할 때 merger가 합병이고 acquisition이 인수가 되겠죠?
Yep, that's the noun form. Maybe
M&A.
M&A, yeah.
그래요. 자, 그러면은 다시 한번 제가 읽어보겠습니다. Italy has purchased a portrait by Baroque artist Caravaggio for nearly $35 million, making it one of the most expensive artworks the country has ever acquired. Well, that's it for the headlines this morning with Karen Choi.
Seoul has been ranked 9th overall in the 50 Best Cities in the World 2026 list, published by the UK-based culture and travel magazine Time Out, marking an impressive leap of 33 places from 42nd last year.
영국의 글로벌 문화 여행 미디어 타임아웃에서 발표한 세계 최고 도시 50 목록에서 서울이 9위를 차지했습니다. 이는 지난해 42위에서 무려 33계단이나 뛰어오른 순입니다. Well, I couldn't be prouder of Seoul. Tell us more about this list.
Yeah, what a tremendous jump. This was based on a survey of approximately 24,000 citizens and assessments, over 100 urban experts covering 150 different major cities worldwide. And they looked at criteria like food, culture, cost of living, general happiness, all sorts of different things. And tremendous jump for Seoul. It's now in the top 10 and also top 3 in Asia.
와우. 자, 이 설문조사는 2만 4천 명의 시민을 대상으로 했다고 하고요. 그다음에 한 100명 이상의 전문가도 참여를 했고 여러 가지 지표들을 보게 됐는데 그 안에는 음식, 문화, 또 기본적인 어떤 생활비, 또 행복 지수 이런 것들도 다양하게 봐서 서울이 탑 10 안에 들었습니다. 9위예요. 50개 도시 중에서. 근데 작년에는 42위였다고요?
Yeah.
많이 올랐어요?
A tremendous jump. Number one on the list, by the way, was Melbourne in Australia. Some of the other top cities were Shanghai, Edinburgh, London, New York, Cape Town, Mexico City, and Asian cities like Bangkok and Tokyo.
Interesting. All right, let's have a look at the word UK-based. So we know UK, but based?
If you're based somewhere, then that is sort of where your headquarters is, or like your main office, your main branch. It could also be where you were formed before you started branching out other places.
Yeah.
So think of like a tree and where the trunk is, even though the branches kind of extend all the way over here and over there, but where you're actually from, where everything started, is usually where you're based.
So nowadays, everyone can contact anyone around the world. So could you say, where are you based?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where are you right now? Or where is your main office or your headquarters, like
Yeah.
the most important office?
Exactly. And they might say New York, Seoul, or Tokyo, wherever it is. 자, 어디에 기반을 두고 있다라는 뜻인데요. 이제 회사의 경우에는 본사가 여기에 있다라는 뜻이 되겠죠. 그래서 이 Time Out라고 하는 영국의 글로벌 문화와 여행 미디어 콘텐츠 회사인데 그게 이제 런던, 영국을 기반으로 하고 있다라는 뜻입니다.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll use the word based in other ways as well. Like you might say, this story is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Or this story is based on the life of this person. So it's sort of like what it's about. So, you know, who it's following, things like that. So you will see it in other forms as well.
Yeah, and that's what a biopic is.
Yeah.
It's a movie based on someone's life. And oftentimes, let's say crime movies, they'll say this is based on a true story, or a romance story. Recently, I watched the movie Hamnet, which is based on, I guess, the story of Hamlet and how it was written, and Shakespeare and his wife, Anne Hathaway, also known as Agnes Hathaway. So it's sort of based on something, not no, it's not a documentary.
It's not exact.
Yeah.
So it's been inspired by the story, but they might
Yeah.
take some creative liberties. They might
Yes.
change a few things to
Yep.
make the story more interesting, but it's the general idea.
Exactly. And same for the 왕과 사는 남자, the King's Ward in the Korean movie. That's also based on a true historical story in Korea, but there are a lot of dramatized parts to it as well. 그래서 우리가 실화를 바탕으로 하고 있다, 기반으로 하고 있다 할 때도 it's based on a true story 이렇게 얘기할 수 있죠. 자, 그다음에 impressive leap 한번 보겠습니다.
So a leap we've talked about before as being like a jump, right?
Yeah.
You jump up, you leap up. And in the same way, it says here an impressive leap. So if something is impressive, then you are impressed by it. You look
Yeah.
at it, you go, wow. And usually something positive, right? So a positive thing that people go, wow, where
Yeah.
you're jumping up because Seoul, it jumped 33 places, went from 42nd all the way to 9th. That's something that is impressive. When you
Very
look at that
much.
going, wow, that is really good how they did that. So it was a big jump.
I'm so impressed. 아니면 wow, that's so impressive. 이런 형태로 많이 쓰는데요. 이건 와, 대단하다라는 느낌이에요. 그래서 내가 느끼면 I'm impressed. 그 상황에 대해서는 that's impressive. Earlier on in the show, you said that you ran the 10K marathon a couple of times when you were younger and you didn't take any walk breaks. I was so impressed. I know you're sporty and you do loads of different sports. But still though, I was very impressed. That was very impressive. 자, 이런 식으로 쓰는 거예요. 그래서 와, 대단하다라는 느낌이 들어있는 표현입니다. 이거 이제 문장 속에서 우리가 해석은 그럼 어떻게 하면 될까요? Impressive leap 그러면 뭐 대단한 이제 상승이니까 눈에 띄는 상승 이렇게 표현해도 되겠죠. 42위 하다가 9위 했으니까 대단히 많이 올랐어요. 그래서 눈에 띄는 그런 상승이다. Right, well, let me read the headline again. Seoul has been ranked 9th overall in the 50 best cities in the world 2026 list, published by the UK-based culture and travel magazine Time Out, marking an impressive leap of 33 places from 42nd last year. Let's move on.
More than 3 in 10 high school students in Korea report struggling to read long texts, according to a recent survey suggesting that shrinking attention spans may place an additional burden on students required to read and analyze lengthy passages, such as those on the college entrance exam.
최근 실시된 설문조사에서 우리나라 고등학생 중 긴 글을 읽는데 어려움을 겪는 비율이 10명 중 3명 이상인 것으로 나타났습니다. 이처럼 저하된 집중력은 수능시험 지문 같은 긴 글을 읽고 분석해야 하는 학생들에게 추가적인 부담으로 작용할 수 있을 것으로 보입니다. Oh dear. Tell us more.
Yeah, so students were kind of questioned, asking how difficult it is for them to stay focused when reading passages of, let's say, 10 minutes or so. So if you have to read an article that takes you about 10 minutes to do it, how difficult is that for you to stay focused without being distracted or your mind wandering? Well, 22.2% said yes, while 8.4% said very much so. So that's over 30%, according to the survey of over 3,500 high school students by an educational research institute.
그래요. Staying focused, 집중하는 것과 관련된 얘기죠. 그럼 바로 주요 표현으로 가볼 텐데 attention span입니다.
An attention span is how long you're able to stay focused on something without your mind wandering. So we often talk about a span being sort of like how long something goes from one side to another. Like a bridge spans across a river or it spans across a bay.
Yeah.
So when you talk about an attention span, it's like how long does your attention stay focused on something? So your attention is how long you might be able to listen to someone speaking, or if you're reading a book, then you're staying focused on it. So how long are you able to do that?
그래요. span이라는 동사부터 좀 보게 되면은 시간이나 길이에 걸쳐라는 의미가 있어요. 그러니까 얼마나 오래 지속되느냐, 얼마나 멀리 지속되느냐, 가느냐라는 뜻이 이제 기본적으로는 있는 단어입니다. 자, 그렇다면은 attention span이라는 거는 집중력을 얼마나 오랫동안 유지할 수 있는지 그 집중 시간을 얘기해요. So kids don't have a very long attention span these days. That's what they're saying.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very unfortunate.
A lot of it they're attributing to short form media because on your smartphones and devices,
Yeah.
if you're scrolling, you're watching something, and it's so easy to say, "I don't like this,"
Yeah.
and you move on to the next thing by scrolling. So they do say, especially with children, we try to limit the form of media that our kids can watch. It's one thing for them to watch a video; it's another to allow them to scroll. So,
Exactly.
yeah, as soon as we see our kids scroll something, we're like, no more.
그러게요. 자, 그래서 이렇게 숏폼 미디어에 많이 노출이 돼서 그런지 집중력이 좀 떨어진다. 그런 얘기가 되겠죠. The attention span of these students is not as long as it used to be in the past. 이 span이 들어간 단어 몇 개만 더 언급을 좀 하고 싶은데요. 우리가 이제 길이나 시간이 얼마나 오래 되느냐, 기냐 이런 얘기라고 했잖아요. lifespan.
Yeah, how long you live.
그죠. 수명. 그다음에 wingspan.
How broad your wings are or arms are for people as
맞아.
well.
새의 경우에는 날개의 길이겠지만 우리 사람은 손끝에서 손끝까지 그 팔 길이죠. 그래서 농구 선수들 같은 경우에 항상 그 스tats 나와 있어요.
Yes.
윙스팬이 몇 미터인지. 근데 옛날에는 제가 이렇게 들었거든요. 키랑 윙스팬이랑 똑같아. 근데 아니더라고요.
Yeah, very
아니에요.
different.
네, 달라요. 그래서 윙스팬이 조금 더 길 수도 있어요. 그죠? 자, 어쨌든 다시 돌아가서 lengthy passage 보겠습니다.
Well, a passage in this particular case is something that you're reading to get information from. And something that's lengthy means that it has length or that it is long. So if you're reading something that is long is what it's talking about.
lengthy는 길다라는 형용사예요. I think my explanation earlier on was a bit lengthy. 너무
I didn't
길었나요?
think so at all,
아, 그래요?
actually.
그럼 다행이고요.
Yeah.
그래서 장문의 글, lengthy passage가 되겠습니다. 다시 읽어볼까요?
Oh, I was just going to quickly mention that a passage can also be when you're going from one place to another, then there might be a passage, like a pathway to go from one place to another as well.
통로의 의미도 있어요. 그렇지만 여기서는 글입니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. More than 3 in 10 high school students in Korea report struggling to read long texts, according to a recent survey suggesting that shrinking attention spans may place an additional burden on students required to read and analyze lengthy passages, such as those on the college entrance exam.
The United Nations has warned that if escalating tensions in the Middle East continue to destabilize the global economy, the number of people worldwide facing acute hunger could exceed 364 million in 2026.
유엔은 중동 지역 분쟁이 격화돼 세계 경제 불안이 앞으로도 지속될 경우 전 세계에서 심각한 기아에 직면하게 되는 인구가 2026년에 3억 6,400만 명을 넘길 수도 있다고 경고했습니다. That's a lot of people who could be facing hunger.
It is a lot of people, and you might wonder, what does this war have to do with food?
Food, yeah.
And the what happens a lot over there is, or what a lot of it is to do, is oil prices because they're preventing oil tankers from moving out of the area.
The Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of
yeah.
Hormuz, yeah. So because a lack of oil, we've seen that, gas prices have gone up because of the lack of oil, but also you need oil to transport food and things like that. So it's affecting a lot of people because they don't want to be spending a lot of money for things like charity, as an
Yeah.
example, when it comes to delivering charity to places where they need food and stuff like that. So
그렇습니다.
this is an issue for sure.
그래서 지금의 이 이란 전쟁이 지금 우리 3월 중후반인데 6월까지 계속 간다 그러면은 뭐 지금보다 훨씬 더 많은 몇 천만 명의 사람들이 굶주릴 수도 있다. 그런 무서운 보고서 내용인데요. destabilizing 한번 보겠습니다.
If we think of something that is stable, then it's okay. Everything is safe. There's no danger involved. Now, if something is destabilized, then it's the opposite of that, essentially. So things are constantly changing.
Yep.
Things are kind of unstable. So we it's unpredictable. We don't know how things are going to turn out. So when it says the global economy has been destabilized, then it means that it's not stable. It's in the act of not being stable.
Yeah. To de something normally means to undo it. It's the opposite of what the other verb means, basically. 여기서는 이제 stabilizing이 안정하게 하는 거니까요. 안정감 있게. 그러면은 이제 destabilizing은 불안정하게 하는 거겠죠. 마찬가지로 우리 활성화하다, activate. 그럼 비활성화하는 것은 deactivate가 되겠죠. 그리고 decoding이라는 단어도 있는데 암호 같은 거 만들어놨을 때 그걸 해독하는 거 영어로는 decoding이라고 합니다. 자, 그 다음에 이 단어 cute가 아니라 acute.
Acute has a couple of different meanings, and in this particular case, it's talking about something being extreme or more in that sense. So I think if we think of the word AIDS, which is an acronym for acute immune deficiency syndrome. So that's the acronym for AIDS, saying that your immune system is very deficient. It's acute, so it's very. There's a lot of deficiency there, and in the same sort of way, we're talking acute hunger. It's not just hunger. It's going to get to an extreme case where it could be dangerous.
극심하다라는 의미로 여기서는 쓰였지만 우리가 이제 건강 얘기를 할 때는 급성 뭐뭐뭐 할 때 acute라는 단어를 붙여요. 그래서 acute 이렇게 쓰고 지금 얘기하는 거는 acute hunger니까요. 이제 굉장히 심각한 기아 상태, 굶주림을 얘기하고 있습니다.
A way that it can help you remember sort of the general meaning of acute is, so another meaning for acute is a triangle that is less than 90 degrees, or I should say an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So like a corner of a square, if it's sharper than that, then it is acute. If it's larger, we call it obtuse, right? So if it's sharper than 90 degrees and it's kind of sharp, like a point, then it can be dangerous, right? So like it's something that can poke you or prick you. So think of it as being dangerous if things are acute because it's a sharper triangle.
항상 저 이렇게 긴장하게 만드십니다. 수학 얘기까지 나왔어요. 예각이라고 하죠. 우리 90도보다 작은 각도. 영어로는 acute angle이라고 합니다. 둔각은 obtuse인가요?
Obtuse, yeah.
obtuse. 네, 그래요. 그 뒤에 angle 붙이는 거죠, 보통.
Yes.
예, 각도니까. 자, 그래요. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The United Nations has warned that if escalating tensions in the Middle East continue to destabilize the global economy, the number of people worldwide facing acute hunger could exceed 364 million in 2026. 자, 다음 헤드라인 가보겠습니다.
A study suggests that some babies begin to grasp the basics of deception before their first birthday, engaging in rudimentary deceit, such as pretending not to hear their parents, hiding toys, or secretly eating forbidden foods.
아기들 중 몇몇은 생후 1년 미만일 때부터 이미 타인을 속이는 법을 터득하기 시작한다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. 이에 따르면 이 아기들은 부모의 말을 못 들은 척하거나 장난감을 숨기거나 금지된 음식을 몰래 먹는 등의 기초적인 형태의 속임수를 쓰는 것으로 나타났습니다. Alright, this is interesting. Tell us more.
Yeah, they interviewed 750 parents in the UK, and they kind of drew on animal behaviors, looking at chimpanzees and how they act and the things that they might do, and compared them with some of the babies and how they do in different situations. So as they start to understand their parents as to what the parents want from them or are forbidding them to do, saying, don't do this, this and don't do that, well, they're already doing things that are kind of showing some dishonesty, let's just say.
그래요. deceit라는 말이 나왔는데, 자, deceit가 속임수고요. 여기서는 the basics of deception. 자, 그럼 이런 형태의 문장을 한번 볼까요? What does this mean?
So deception is where you want something to look different from what it is. And if you think of like a magic trick. So often magic tricks are a use of deception. You use smoke and mirrors to make it look like something, but it's actually something else. You're deceiving or it is a deception.
Yeah, actually, we mentioned the word trick yesterday, so I think briefly we mentioned a magic trick and how, the sleight of hand is a sort of deception.
Yes.
But sleight is spelt S-L-E-I-G-H-T, not S-L-I-G-H-T,
Yeah.
although it's pronounced like that. It's basically just moving your hand very quickly so you don't see them hiding the card or doing whatever they do. And because they deceive their audience well, it looks like magic. But
Yeah.
this isn't a bad deception. This is sort of like, it's a job. It's clever.
Yeah. For magic. that
For
is.
magic,
Yes.
for magic. Yes, exactly.
For these babies, on the other hand.
그래요. 자, the basics of something, 무엇의 기본이나 기초라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 속임수의 기초, 어떤 그런 기본 개념을 아기들이 한 살이 되기 전부터도 익히는 것 같다. 그렇다라는 것을 연구 통해서 좀 밝혔고요. rudimentary라는 표현이 여기서는 이제 deceit 앞에 쓰였는데 무슨 뜻일까요?
Yeah, once again, it's talking about like a low level or an early level, a basic level. So rudimentary deceit, sort of like something that only they would do. It's not complicated or sophisticated. It's more basic in general.
rudimentary 스펠링 알려주실래요?
RUDIMENTARY. It is long.
그래요. rudimentary라는 거는 basic, elementary 이런 것처럼 기초적인이라는 의미를 가지고 있습니다. 그 다음에 deception하고 deceit, 뭐 사실상 여기서 같은 의미로 쓰였다고 볼 수 있는데요. 물론 살짝 달라요. 굳이 따지자면은 deceit가 조금 더 나쁜 느낌,
Yeah.
뭐 거짓말을 한다든지 뭐 이런 속임수라면은 deception은 눈속임 같은 거, 아까 그 마술쇼 얘기했잖아요.
Yeah.
그런 거는 deceit라고 하지 않고 deception이라고 해요.
Yes.
그러나 이 헤드라인에서는 그냥 사실상 같은 의미로 썼다고 볼 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. A study suggests that some babies begin to grasp the basics of deception before their first birthday, engaging in rudimentary deceit, such as pretending not to hear their parents, hiding toys, or secretly eating forbidden foods. Now, let's move on to our final headline.
An investigation by Reuters claims to have identified the elusive street artist Banksy as Robin Gunningham, a 51-year-old man from the UK city of Bristol, who now goes by David Jones.
로이터 통신은 자체 탐사 보도를 통해 얼굴 없는 화가로 유명한 거리 예술가 뱅크시의 정체가 영국 브리스톨 출신의 51세 남성 로빈 거닝엄으로 현재는 데이비드 존스라는 이름으로 개명했다는 주장을 내놨습니다. Okay, so this has not been verified by Banksy's team. However, it's a claim by Reuters.
That's
Tell us
right.
more.
So they're saying that this is who they believe it is, but as you mentioned, it has not been confirmed by his lawyers. And I find it interesting that he's changed his name to David Jones,
Yeah.
supposedly, because I'm guessing this must be one of the most common names
Yes.
in England. Like
Yep.
in North America, we would say John Smith. It's kind of like, oh, it's another John Smith because
Yep.
that's kind of the common name. I'm guessing that must be the equivalent to that in England.
For sure, because if this is all true, of course, then it's going to be significantly more harder to track down a David Jones
Yes.
than someone with a slightly more uncommon name like Robin Gunningham.
Exactly.
And the whole thing about Banksy is that, it's elusive. We don't know who he or she is. And I think his artwork really speaks for itself. Do we need to know who drew it?
Exactly.
Isn't the actual artwork what's important? But nonetheless.
And I think it's that also makes it more interesting because no one's ever seen the actual artist. Because most people, they do come out and we get to see who they are and we're interested in what they look like. But it makes it more of a mystery because we haven't seen them.
I agree. Now, what is elusive?
Something that's elusive is something that's hard to catch or hard to find the answer to. It's like a mystery
Yep.
that hasn't been solved.
안 잡힌다는 뜻이에요. 잡으려고 아무리 노력해도 잡히지가 않아요. 자, 그런 게 elusive인데요. 이게 정체가 알려지지 않은 이라는 뜻으로 여기서는 보면 되겠죠. The elusive street artist Banksy. 그런데 이제 이 보도 내용에 따르면 로이터스가 로빈 거닝엄이다라고 특정을 하니까 곧바로 이 사람이 개명을 했대요. 뭐로? 굉장히 흔한 이름, 데이비드 존스로. 그래서 여기서 뭐라고 했냐면 Now he goes by David Jones. 이 문장 구조 좀 볼게요. Now someone goes by something.
So now is just, currently,
Yeah.
right now. But if you go by something, then that's what you answer to.
Yep.
If someone calls this name, then you'll turn out, yes, were you talking to me? Okay.
Yeah.
So you answer to that name, or that's what you want to be known as. Often it could be nicknames.
Sure.
Like Tiger Woods, that's not his real name. So he goes by Tiger Woods.
What's his real name?
I want to say it's Eldrick or Heinrich or something
Okay.
like that. It starts with an E and it's kind of a stranger name.
Okay.
Tiger sounds a lot more cool,
Yeah.
and that's what everyone calls him by.
I just thought he had really cool parents who decided to call their son Tiger, but I
that
didn't
was
know
his
that.
nickname because he's
see.
a predator. He goes and wins and hunts down the other golfers and stuff. So it's a
Interesting.
nickname that is stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
But so that's what he goes by. That's not his actual name.
자, 그래서 이러한 이름을 사용한다. 라는 뜻이거든요. now는 이제는 뭐 이렇게 그냥 덧붙였을 뿐인데 그래서 저도 좀 찾아봤어요. I wanted to know if there were any celebrities that went by their middle name.
Oh.
그랬더니 유명한 사람들 몇 명 있었어요.
Sure, there's lots.
Brad Pitt.
Oh.
원래 이름은 윌리엄 브래들리 피트예요. 근데 가운데 이름 브래들리를 예명처럼 써서 he goes by his middle name. 또 한 명은 singer Rihanna. 원래 이름은 로빈 리아나 펜티더라고요. But she, of course, she goes by her middle name, not her first name. 그래서 이런 게 좀 재밌습니다. 자, 그렇게 불린다. 그 이름을 사용한다. 자, 다시 읽어볼게요. An investigation by Reuters claims to have identified the elusive street artist Banksy as Robin Gunningham, a 51-year-old man from the UK city of Bristol, who now goes by David Jones. All right, well, that's it for the headlines with Jason Lee.